the great Tony Williams. Let's go. Wait.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see all of you here. Thank you. My name is Tony Williams, and I've been, well, let's see. First, I'd like to thank Armin Zildjian, Lenny DiMuzio, and all the staff of Zildjian for inviting me to attend such a prestigious gathering of audience and drummers. I feel really honored to be here. My first time in Dallas, Texas. So thank you for inviting me. As you see by the way I'm dressed, I'm performing surgery in the morning. I was born in 1945, and at the age of 2, I was born in Chicago, let me say that, and at the age of 2, my parents decided to move to Boston. And the fortunate thing about that was that they took me with them. So that helped me a great deal. And in Boston being such a educational capital of the world, you know that there are more institutions of learning in Boston than any other place on the planet. So you grow up in Boston with a kind of tradition of learning and education and trying to always learn something new. And in Boston, I had a great training with a lot of drummers, namely Alan Dawson. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. And he was kind enough to help me a great deal. And Alan, along with 2 other drummers, one named, we called him Baggy Grant, and damn, I forgot his name. Damn, well, it's been so long since I've done this. Anyway, there were 3 drummers in Boston, and Alan was a very technically oriented drummer. He had all the technique in the world. And Baggy had no technique, but he could swing. He had a great feeling for the drums. And the other drummer, I keep wanting to say Lenny DiMuzio, but that's not his name. I'll think of it in a minute. But this 3rd drummer, that I can't remember his name, he epitomized creativity. So at an early age, I realized that watching these 3 drummers, that not one of those things alone would be the answer, but all 3 things. Having as much technique and expressive ability, and then secondly, having the feeling that goes along with it, and thirdly, the creativity to express yourself. So that's what I've tried to combine in my playing. And then when I started really seriously working at it, the main drummers I was influenced by were Max Roach, Art Blakey, and Philly Joe Jones. Whew, I remembered all their names. Now, Max Roach and Philly Joe and Art Blakey epitomized the same 3 qualities. Max was very technically oriented. He played drums very melodically. Art Blakey played with all the drive and passion that you could ever ask for. And Philly Joe Jones played with a lot of animation and creativity. He played things that you wouldn't expect to see a drummer play. So all 3 qualities combined, for me, made what I thought would be the perfect drummer. So that has, those 3 things are what I've strived for, being a drummer. And I've also tried to, in the recent years, to help foster a sort of standard that seems to be missing in drum education. Seems that if you want to play piano or clarinet or most instruments, that there's a certain standard that you have to adhere to. You have to learn how to play certain scales. If you're playing piano, you have to play in all the keys. You have to learn how to read, all kinds of things. But with drumming, it seems is that everyone, someone who's playing for 1 or 2 years, they'll tell you that they have their own style and that this is the way they play. And what I've tried to help foster is a way that drummers as a fraternity and a brotherhood can have a sort of standard. My idea of a good drummer is a drummer who one night can go and play behind Sarah Vaughan, the next night could play behind Glenn Campbell, the next night could play with Miles Davis, and so forth. And he could also read and do other things. So there's a world of drumming that is still untapped among many drummers. And that's what part of my mission is, that I'm trying to crusade, as it were, and help give the drums a little bit more of a respectability, because there are many things that I see when I teach and give classes and give clinics. 90% of the drummers that I come across can't play a double stroke roll. And there's a technique that most people use that anybody can use. I know that the drums are an instrument that just anybody can play. Anyone can sit up here and get a sound out of the drums. All you have to do is tap them. And most drummers I come across play with the front part of the hand like this, with just maybe these 2 fingers. And they rely basically on bounce, meaning that they're relegated to the surface that they're playing on. And they drop the stick and bounce it along like that. It's kind of a willy-nilly, haphazard type of technique to me. So from years of practice and watching a lot of drummers, because when I started very young, I started when I was 9, and the first time I played a drum set was in front of an audience, and at that time there were many drummers traveling around the country that were incredible drummers, and I was fortunate enough to be able to see them. And I found out through watching them that the best drummers played a different way. They played with the back part of the hand, meaning these last 2 fingers. They held the stick basically here. So that means that the drummer has to play with his hand in the hand and not bouncing it, say, like this, but holding it with all the fingers and being in control. That's the difference. Being in control is one of the most important aspects of drumming. I don't know if you've ever played and you've played something and you try to figure, and in your mind you probably say, boy, I hope this works. Well, I decided a long time ago that I didn't want to be subjected to that for the rest of my playing career. So I decided that whenever I played anything, I knew whether it was going to work or not. So I hold the sticks very firmly, and I don't rely on bounce, which helps a great deal, and it gives me a very solid technique. So that tells you a little bit about Tony Williams and about some of my philosophy. And so now, if I would like to answer some questions, if there are any questions out there from any one of you people. Everyone's got on the same t-shirt. How did that happen? My goodness. Pardon me? Play what? Play blues? Well, you see, blues is a series of chords and melodies and things. And the drums play rhythm, but I don't play any chords. I don't have a keyboard up here, so I can't play the blues. I mean, if I played guitar or something, I'd play the blues for you. It's a good question, though. Thank you. Any other questions, please? Yes. No, I didn't. When the question was, when I was copying and learning, from Max Roach or Art Blakey, did I practice just the solos? No, I didn't. I practiced everything that they played from the beginning of the song till the end. I tuned my drums exactly as they did, or as close as I could get, and I played exactly what they played. I believe that playing like someone is a great help. I think that it gives a person a vocabulary. It gives you things that you don't have. And playing like people that have come before is the basis so that you can decide for yourself what you want to play and what you don't want to play. If you don't do these things, then you never know. You're just floundering around and being insecure. And for lack of better reasons, everyone walks around saying, well, I've got my own style. But I practiced everything that they played so that I could decide what it is I didn't want. Yeah. Yeah, I try to play, he asked my concept for playing fast tunes. My concept was that, and these are all great questions, I tried to play the same way I'd play on slow tunes, meaning that I would hear drummers play one way on a slow song or a medium tempo, and as soon as they played a faster song, the technique and everything changed. So what I tried to do was make everything sound the same, so that when I played one song, it was the same intensity as a slow song. And that takes concentration. It takes a lot of hard work. But that's the concept. I tried not to make a distinction between fast songs and slow songs. Just like this drum set and my sticks, I can play very soft with these sticks. I can play very soft with this drum set. I don't have to change drum sets to play with a trio as opposed to a big band, as opposed to, a group that's all electric. It's all the same. It depends on me and my technique. Yeah. Yes, I have. I've, been doing a lot of studying at UC Berkeley. I live in Northern California, and I've been doing quite a bit of writing, and I've been working in the studio on some new projects and things like that, and trying to put a direction together so I can make a major assault on the record-buying public. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
It's down by the fluidity of your right hand symbol.
Pardon me?
I'm really down by the fluidity of your right pattern on up tempo. I was just you're so conscious of it. It feels like it's so open. What have you thought about, or how do your hand or your dance on the symbol? It's fun.
Thank you. No, if I counted, I'd be nuts. That comes from being able to play one thing for long periods of time, and it started with the cymbal, because in the cymbal playing is I think the most important for this type of drum set, and what I did was concentrate basically on playing just the cymbal for long periods of time. That's what makes certain players sound good, because they can play in a straight line. My whole philosophy and concept is built on straight lines and evenness. My hands are always in the same position. One hand is not higher than the other. One hand is not in front of the other. And my cymbal playing is based on being able to play one thing and not changing it ever. I mean, I do change it because I want to change it, because I choose to change it, not because I can't help myself. So it's based on being real clear about my thoughts and making sure that when I play something, I know that what I'm playing is being heard, meaning that very early on I got a tape recorder, which was also a big help. And the first thing I taped, I listened back to it, and I listened for something, say in the 20th bar of what I was playing, and I listened for it, and I said, gee, that's not what I played. I thought it was going to be there. And I realized that I had to be a little more clear about what I was doing, so that now when I play, I know that what I'm playing, someone else is hearing. Because I play the drums for people. I play to be heard. I don't play just to, just to get off. I love the drums, so I want everyone else to love the drums too. And so it's been a real trek to play clearly and to make sure that when I play something, it's clear and that someone else can hear it. So the cymbal, your question, brings that out, brings up the subject of being very clear. I'm glad you like it. I like it too. Yes?
What did you first feel like you had your own style?
I never did. I don't feel that way now. I still feel like I'm playing the way that the people that I admire would be playing if they were me. I'm just taking what people have played and playing it in different places, turning things around. I'm just using my own creativity to play things that have already been played, but actually saying to myself, well, let's see, if he played it this way, then I can play it this way. So, but that concept started, I guess, by the time I was, say about 15 or 16. I had been playing, I guess, about 7-8 years by that time. So that's what I think about my own playing. It's, I'm always thinking about Art Blakey and Louis Hayes and Jimmy Cobb and Roy Haynes and Lex Humphreys. There's many drummers that I've listened to and was able to see. See, the thing that was also important was that I was able to see these people firsthand. And another important factor was that when I first started playing, I had the opportunity to play with people all the time, to play with the best players, the best bass players in Boston, the best piano players. As a little kid, I was playing with these people at night, going to school in the day, grammar school and junior high school. But at night, I was kind of living two lives, playing with my father's band at night and going to school in the daytime. So that had a lot to do with the development, rather than just listening to records or practicing. There was also the playing with people and getting used to different tendencies that players have, tendencies that horn players have, tendencies that piano players have, people that slow down or rush, there's all these things that went into it. So my style has, if you want to call it that, has developed through many different filters of life. Yes? Yeah, I could. Brushes. Okay. Yeah.
As far as independent coordination goes, is that something you work on consciously, or did it just come intuitively?
It's something both. I mean, I had to work on it, but independence independence is something that came out of desire. Like a lot of things I play came out of just a need to play them. You know, if I felt like I needed a bass drum in a certain place, I would just start to play it there. So independence comes out of, you know, like necessity. I sometimes. A lot of times I get that question about how do you get independence, and the first thing that I found out that you have to be independent is coordination. And you can't be independent unless you first learn how to coordinate everything, unless your hands and your feet are in sync with each other. Then, see, the problem is, and I can go on and on about this, but it seems as though the problem is that you can try to be independent, but if the stuff is not coordinated first, it's all going to sound like it's just a mishmash of ideas, and no one knows what you're doing. So my whole goal has been to be coordinated so that the independence sounds real clear and good. So independence is, it's not as important as a lot of people think it is. I think that sounding good and making other people feel good is real important. When you're playing with a band, with other people, you want them to really feel good. You want to give off a feeling of relaxation and a lot of other things, which is more important than soloing or independence or a lot of other things. So, yeah.
When you first started playing, did you have a lot of musical training? Like, you play so musically. Like, did that come just naturally, or did the music help you do it?
Oh yeah, it's the music. I mean, I listen to music. It's not just drumming. I mean, it's music that I'm mostly interested in, and expressing musical ideas. And drumming can be very melodic and musical. There are a lot of great players that prove that. You know. Yeah. Okay, that's another one. He asked what it was like playing with Miles. Miles Davis. When I started with Miles Davis, I was 17, and I left his band when I was 22. And those years are very formative years in anyone's life. So for me, I guess you can imagine being in a situation where you're playing with someone who up until that point was one of your idols, and you get with them and they tell you that anything you do is okay. So that's what it was like. I was with a lot of people that whatever I played seemed to fit, and it was a very exciting experience for those years that I played with that band. And I can't begin to tell you the benefits that have come my way because of that. And it's, you know, when you're that young and someone says that anything you do is all right, you gain a lot of confidence and a lot of maybe sometimes too much confidence. But I'm still working that out. About what? The stroke? Yeah, I'm having one now, actually. No, the stroke, the technique I use is based on lifting the sticks with the hand. A lot of people think that drumming is from the wrist. Now, I see a lot of techniques that are either they talk about the wrist or they talk about fingers and they talk about snapping and all these things. And it's a lot simpler than that. I mean, drumming, what I've tried to do is take out all of the physical handicaps that people kind of get into and make drumming a very simple kind of thing. See, the hardest thing a drummer does is lift the stick. You got gravity pulling it down. So the hardest thing that we do is lift it up because we're working against gravity. So I've tried to make it real simple and use the hand, not the wrist, not the fingers, but the hand. And the hand lifts the stick and it puts it down. So the concept is just being in control all the time, so that when I play something, I know what it's going to sound like, and I know what it's the results. And it's hard to show you because you're up there, but just explaining it a little bit, that's what it's about for me, both hands. Another thing is that I believe that all drummers should learn how to play with the traditional grip. The only reason people don't is because they think that it's awkward and that it's hard. And you can get a lot of reasons why people play match grip all the time. They'll tell you that it's easier, or that's one thing I don't believe, because I don't believe that the drums are supposed to be easy. So that's a cop-out. And then they say that, well, they want both hands to be the same. Well, I don't believe that. I like the fact that I have a left hand and a right hand, and that my left hand has to be coordinated with my right hand. It's like life. If you have two people that are the same, you're going to get bored. People, you know, I mean, you need spice in life. So using the traditional grip in the left hand and this grip in the right hand means that I have to coordinate these things, and I get a sense of a right and a left. I'm not playing with two right hands, and I'm not playing with two left hands. So that has a lot to do with my technique and philosophy also. The match grip is not so, I mean, what it means is if you don't play, if you're not able to play with the traditional grip in the left hand, it's like saying you want to be a piano player, but you never want to play with the black keys, or something like that. So anyway, there's a whole vocabulary of things that people have played for years using this grip, and if you don't want to learn those things, it's sort of like saying you don't particularly want to learn all there is to know about drumming. And good drummers, to me, are those that want to take advantage of all there is to be played. Yeah. Yes, I am. No, I don't have to demonstrate it. I can just tell you that the mind works in a certain way, and that if you hold your hand this way, see, drumming is very sensory, and if I hold my hand in a certain way, my mind is going to think in a certain way. And if I hold it this way, my mind thinks in a way. And if I hold it this way, I'm not going to think of certain things. And if I hold it this way, I'm not going to think of certain things. That's what I'm saying. It's real simple.
Going back to the ride thing, you were talking about how you don't like bouncing fingers.
Yeah.
You know, listen to a lot of the early Miles stuff, recording stuff.
Yeah.
Like you, sometimes 4 strokes.
Mm-hmm.
You demonstrate that. I would really love to see how.
Okay, sure. Yes, sir. That was a little bit over the top, I think. But I just had a lot of experience watching a lot of drummers play, and having the opportunity to play with good people. One of the basic things for drumming is bass players. When I see all through my careers, my best friends have all been the bass players in the group. I think drummers and bass players have a affinity for each other. And the bass players I've been playing with have always been kind enough to let me be crazy. And they've kind of laid back and held everything together most of the time. So that has a lot to do with that kind of playing. Maybe sometime, if you get a chance and you see me playing somewhere, you'll come around and watch me play with some musicians, which is a better atmosphere, because I'd rather do that than to talk and explain things. But yeah, another question. Could you say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Is it difficult to commercialize it? Yeah. No, it isn't. No. I mean, they just have. I like playing with good players, but their names are not. You know, the no, the quality of their names is not. I don't find that a problem at all. The commercial aspect? No, I mean it's all commercial. Once you make a record, you're commercial. I mean when you make something and then sell it, it's commercial. So that's not a problem at all. I think the reason I took up writing music was to play the drums more. I realized that, I like music. I've always wanted to be a composer, but I also found out that the more I wrote, the easier it would be to play. So I've been trying to basically concentrate on my own abilities and help myself along. Yeah. Uh-huh. No, I don't. Yeah, I try to. I see a lot of people with huge drum sets and they don't play them. They don't play half of them sometimes. I believe that it's best to play what you hear. I hear all these drums. I can hear things to play on them. I think if you have too many drums sometimes, it's kind of superfluous. And the tuning of the drums is very important for me. And this is the set I play all the time. I played this configuration for the last, I think, eight years. No, more than that. I think since 72. Yeah, since 72. Pardon me? These drums? These are my drums. Yeah, all the way from my basement in San Anselmo, California.
Do you tune your drums to specific pitches?
No, he asked, do I tune the drums to specific pitches? No, I tune them to relative resonance. I pick, what I do is I start with the tom, which is the snare drum tom, this one, and that's out of tune, and I tune the rest of the drums so that they sound coordinated, meaning that you can tell which drum I'm hitting. It just doesn't sound like one tom does not sound like the other. They sound distinct into themselves. The two hardest to tune are these, well, the three hardest are these three, to get them to sound distinct. They're out of tune right now. I haven't played them in a couple of days. I like them to sound like a series of tones that sound kind of harmonious. The same thing with the cymbals, because this is Zildjian Day. The cymbals I choose are all, they sound good as a group, but they also sound good individually. Each cymbal has a distinct sound, and one doesn't wash out the other. So that's just a simple concept that I try to use. All the drums are distinctive, and all the cymbals are distinctive, but they all sound good as a group of cymbals or drums. Okay?
When you go into a session, do you have problems with people wanting you to muffle your drums?
Yeah. He asked, when I go to sessions, do I have problems with people that want to muffle the drums? And the answer is yes, because, and I don't mind doing that, but that whole studio sound is what it is. It's a producer. It's as if, you know, it's not a drummer's sound. It's not a drum sound. It's a studio producer, engineer drum sound, where the drums end up sounding like a series of cardboard boxes, which is okay, but these are not those kind of drums. And I can play, it doesn't matter, you know, I can play on anything, but that is a problem sometimes. I like to, I have different techniques that are different for the studio than for live, and it can be a problem sometimes if the engineer is not, if he's not open to trying other things, and then it's a problem, and then you know, you have a big problem sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Is the muffler in the bass drum? Yeah, it is. It's on the other side. It's touching the beater head. And the strand on the snares are the big ones, the 15, I think they're 15 strands across, I think. I haven't counted them lately. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, brushes. Okay. The brushes are completely opposite from the sticks, in that you can take a brush and just rub it across the head and get a sound. I don't know if you're picking this up, but it's a whole different technique, and I don't know where you can learn this from, unless you come to my house, and I'll show you. But I always play brushes with the snare off, you know, because I try, and another thing I try to do, without getting real specific about technique and things, is I try to play the brushes, because they are opposite and they're not sticks, I try to play them like, I try not to play things that I would play with sticks. Meaning, I never see the reason, because I don't have those cymbals that are, you know, sizzle cymbals and things with the holes in them. So I never play the cymbals with brushes. I mean, I'm doing it now, but it's just kind of, like a waste of time to me. So when I play brushes, I'm always playing the drums. Thank you. Thank you. That's sort of what I do. I even find it hard to, just mentally hard to go around the drums with brushes, because it's, for me, just artistically, it's strange. So I stay basically, my technique is basically on the snare drum with the snares off to get a real solid round sound, and to just play the brushes in a special way, rather than trying to duplicate things that you would play with sticks. You might as well just use the sticks. It's a whole just kind of, I'm just weird that way, I think. But what I'll do now, I was just been told that my time has run out, so I'll just replace this microphone, because I am a neat kind of a guy, and I'll just play a little bit more. And thank you all for coming.